Okay, so now we got everything put back together and she's back on the chassis. Alright, got everything oiled and greased and ready to go again. The side frames are back on, as you can see, on both sides. So they're ready to go. You can see the screws there holding the side frames on. I don't think we can see the front ones, but they're in there. But those heads on those screws are so low it doesn't interfere with it turning on the chassis there. And remember, that little section there gets a little bit of grease just so it rides on there, and that stabilizes the truck onto the chassis there as it goes around. Alright, so our next step is to put on our electronic E-unit. Alright, and according to the instructions, we've got a couple of options for getting it to the neutral side through the chassis, or we could add a wire. Let's see here. There she is. It's got some nice screw terminals on there. They give you some 3M pad here, double stick. So if you want to lay it flat on the chassis, I'm not sure what position we want to put this in yet. At some point, I want to add sound and all of that to this. So the position of this unit here may change over time. Like I say, they've got a ground lug here. I could mount it right down onto the chassis that way. We could do it as long as it sticks up and doesn't interfere with the cab. We should be able to do that. But we'll test fit things. We may just lay it flat like this. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll get this E unit out of the way first and see what kind of room we have. Yeah. Just thinking ahead here, if I did add sound, I would probably want to put the speaker right here in the middle. So I'd have to drill a pattern of holes here to get our sound system. So the speaker would be here, and then we'd have to find another place for our reverse unit and potentially a sound card. I'm just not sure yet. So, but we'll get this in first, and then we'll decide what to do with the sound and everything later. So our first mission is to unsolder these wires, get them out of the way. We need one. Well, we don't need this light bulb anymore because I'm going to add LEDs. So I'll remove this, and then all we need is the power wire from the center pickup rollers. Alright, so let me heat up the soldering iron, get that unsoldered right there. Actually, you know what? We don't have to unsolder anything. we're going to just cut these. And there's that. There's our center pickup. I'll just push that down through there for the moment. Here's our light fixture. So that wire, we can pull that up out of the way. Okay, there's our contact for the bulb and the spring. Alright, that's all there is to that. Alright, next thing we gotta do is unscrew this screw that holds the E unit. So we'll do that. Okay, there's our E unit. She's in fine shape. She works perfectly. Everything's in good shape on it. So we'll save that for future use. But for now, we'll set that aside. And then our bracket here, we could put that on. That way, we don't want any of these soldering joints to hit the chassis. So we could just set it there with the double stick foam. We could stand it up. Using the E unit mount. Let me check something here. Let me grab the body. The most room we have is the center cab, so can't come up too high with this thing. Okay, it'll fit up into the cab, but let me see something here. If we put it this way, just rest it like that for the moment. Okay, I think we've got lots of room here we can play around with. We could use a hole in the chassis. Bolt it to one of these holes here. But actually, I think I'm just going to lay it down. Yeah. I think I'm going to lay her down. Now what we don't want is all these wires routed too close to the stake here that holds our truck on. Maybe if I added new wires, brought all the screw terminals to this side. Let's see. Move that back, give our center power wire plenty of room to navigate. I'll put that in the screw block that way. Alright. And then one of these screw terminals is a ground, so we could use that. And then I could get rid of this bracket, give us some more room to play with. Alright, let's try that. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of the E-unit bracket. And in order to do that, on this unit here, it's riveted on. You can see that. So we should be able to easily grind that down with our moto tool. Just take it easy and grind the rivet. Got enough of it to where we can pop it off, and there it is. Okay, there's that. We'll save that for future use if we ever need it. Then we'll go ahead and get the rest of this ribbon out of the chassis here. And grind that off. Keep after it here. Okay, we should be able to knock it through from the top now. There it goes. And now we got a nice hole there. Okay. Excellent. Let me find that rivet. There it is. So that's out of there. Now we can use that as a, I could even solder a wire to that to use as a ground. And then put it into our screw terminal. Be a nice solid ground. I think I might do that. get some of the paint off of there, give us a nice ground here, or neutral to the outside rails. Okay, I think that's what I might do. Alright, so let me find a, well, before we do that, now that that's all out of the way, let's put this back. Let's see, we want our screw terminals away from the... Alright, that leaves this hole completely open for our center pickup wire. That'll go into one of these terminals. And then these, I'll add longer wires to all the motor parts here and bring them around. Okay, I think we're in good shape with this setup here. Here's an interesting possibility. If I ever needed to put a sound card on, I could flatten these out. They're not needed for this locomotive. I could flatten them out, cut them off, and move this entire thing, turn it this way, or we could just, instead of cutting them off, we could just build that up. Maybe some hot glue wood here, little sections of wood, bring it up off of there. Let me see if the shelf fits over top of that. Okay, it does. Fits real nice. I think that's what we want to do right there. Well, let me get the tabs in. There we go. Yeah, it'll fit on there. Very good. Well, if that's the case, yeah, that'll fit all the way up in there. So we don't have any problem with that. So if I did that now, put it over here, bring the screw terminals facing everything, put our center wire in here. Alright. And then our motor wires, we'll extend them over to here. We'll bring this up. I'll put a piece of wood here between these, and then yeah, I like that idea. I like that a lot. I know I'm taking a long time with this video, but this is all new territory for me, putting an electronic E-unit in here. So, alright, let me cut a piece of wood that'll fit between here. We'll cut two pieces and mount them. Or, sorry guys and gals, if we move this all the way to the front, get rid of the light socket, move this all the way here. Yeah, let's experiment with that. So I pulled the light socket out of there. There's just these tabs here. You can straighten those two out and then just twist it, and the third one should pull right out. Okay, so the light socket's out of the way. Now, if we put this way up front here, and remove this grounding bracket. We'll use the screw terminals on the circuit board to hook up the ground wire. That puppy's in there tight. Yikes. Need a bigger screwdriver. Okay, I had to actually wrap the screwdriver with a pair of vice grips to get that loosened up. That puppy was on there tight. Alright, so now that should be just about ready to come off. Our circuit board here. There we go. Get those out of the way. Alright. Now let's position this again. Remember, we've got double-sided foam tape just to keep this from shorting out. So if we put that right there, yep, goes right down over top. So I think we're in good shape. We're going to do that. Yep, goes down nicely. Okay, I keep forgetting to put the microphone back on when I do stuff. So, sorry about that. So I'm going to mark this now. Right along there, right along there. So I'll know where to put our double stick foam tape there. Okay, I think we're ready to elongate these wires here. And what are we going to do? Stick this to here. Let me get some alcohol on this, clean that up. We'll get our 3M tape here. Double stick foam. It's not tape, but it has tape on it. So we'll get this cleaned up. We'll get our circuit board in place. We should be able to work on it easily when it's in that position. Got plenty of room to get out our screws. They come in from the top, and then we can push our wires in. Very nice. And if we ever need to get at our truck, we can get that C-clip there. All right. Excellent. Let me grab some alcohol. Again, I almost forgot this microphone. Alright. I just clean this area up here without erasing our line too much. Get this all cleaned up. We can still see it for the most part. Alright, good. Okay. Now we need our pad here. perfectly square, so I don't have to worry about one side or the other. Let's move that back just to here. Thusly, get that all pushed down. Peel this off. Get our circuit board. I'm just going to set this on here lightly at the moment. And we'll do another test fit of the body. Alright. Just to make sure we're not having any interference. My wire cut. Yep, see, I was too far up. Good thing I didn't put it down all the way. Bring it back just a little bit. All right, try again. There it is. Sits right down. Okay, that's where we want it. So now we can go ahead and press it down into our pad there. Very good. Okay, good. Okay, sorry about that. I started soldering and adding wire and forgot to turn the camera on. I was talking to myself the whole time. Of course, that's nothing new. But anyway, I got our ground wire soldered onto our frame here. Alright. Just going to clean the flux and everything off of there. Alcohol swab here. I just used that rivet hole and just cleaned it up with the grinding wheel on the moto tool and put the wire down in there after I tinned it. And got the frame heat hot enough that it worked out very well. A little bit of fluxer on there. She flows real nice. You see it's a nice joint. And all we got's that little pokey bit underneath. We can even grind that down if we want, but it's not hurting anything there. It's not going to touch anything. Not going to hurt anything. Leave that alone. Okay, so we got our ground wire, and let's move that out of the way for the moment. Put you back in the picture. And I cut all my wires here, longer wires for the motor, to get over to the circuit board here. And I tinned those all up while I was talking to myself. So now I just clean off the flux, anything that didn't burn off during the soldering. Alright, so these longer ends I'll use into the circuit board, these stripped areas here, and then the shorter ends I'll solder to the motor. Okay. So that one's cleaned. Let's clean this one up. Very nice. Very good. I don't know if you guys know, probably do if you've been on YouTube watching videos, you can actually change the speed of the video to twice as fast if you get bored and want to hurry up towards the end and see what's going on. Okay, there we go. So I was just moving this around trying to see. Okay, they don't have the wire connections marked, but according to the directions here, if we look at it in the same orientation as the directions, this first screw hole up here will be the lockout. That's if you want to put a switch in to lock out the E unit in a certain direction, so it always runs in that direction. The second one should be the ground. The third one is the power from our pickup rollers. The fourth one goes to the armature, one of the armature brushes. Fourth one to another armature brush. And the last one, the sixth one there, goes to the field. Alright. Okay. Very good. So we're going to strip off our center roller pickup here. Alright. Get that twisted around. Get a little more off of there. There we go. That's better. All right, so let's put some little bit of flux on there. All right. Grab our soldering iron here. Very nice. Clean that one off. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to use a lockout. That's the first screw there. And our second screw will be our ground. Let's put that in there. Grab my screwdriver here. Okay, I found it. And that goes into the second. So we'll wind that down. Snug that up. Give it a tug. It's in there good. All right. And then our power from our pickup roller will go in right beside that. Okay, that's in there good. How are we doing on our swing here? Okay, good. Excellent. Alright, so let's solder our wires to our motor here. That'll be the next mission. Okay, so we'll take our green wire here. That'll be for our field. Let's put that down in here. If we can, there we go. Don't need it that far down. Very nice. All right. Then our yellow. That was on a brush, so we'll get this prepared and bend this around a little bit. Get it hooked around that brush right there. And let's pinch this a little bit. Without pinching the spring, James. There we go. Alright. Should have enough solder on there for this. Very good. Okay, let's get our red wire on this brush here. Just let that hang out there. Let's try that. Very good. Everything is good. All right. So we got our power, we got our ground. So our next wire, that's going to go in here. And that will be for one of our brushes. All right. I'll probably shorten that one after we're done testing this. All right. Then the red one from the other brush, that can go in here. Yeah, these will need shortened up just a little. Well, let me do it right this moment while I'm right here. Okay, now that's better. Okay, then our green wire, that is going to go here for our field. Okay, we got enough wire to swing around. That looks good. And I guess that's it. Let's give her a whirl, shall we? All of this wiring may need to be changed if I do get a soundboard for this, because the speaker will go right here after I drill a pattern for the speaker. And the board, I don't know how big they are, but it would go somewhere over top of this one or beside it. But I might have to reroute all those wires, so we'll have to see what happens in time. But for now, let's check it out, see if it does what it says it should. That's my other locomotive waiting for the remote. That's neutral on the board. Isn't that nice? Silent. No more racket. Yes. Very nice. Excellent. That's working real good. Well, I like that. Now the more as you go from forward to neutral to reverse and back to neutral and forward. Goodness. Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, I'll have to grease my slides here again, but that works real nice. So if that's the case, I wonder if I could add directional lighting to this board just by hooking an LED at the front and rear. You know, one wire from the LEDs will go to the ground, of course, and then which would be this wire here, or a big one, and one LED wire will go to this yellow wire, which is a brush. I don't know which direction that is, forward. But then the other LED will get energized when the other brush with the red wire gets energized. Well, we'll experiment with that, but for now, we're in great shape. She works perfect. I'm real happy with that. Neutral, forward, neutral, reverse, neutral, forward. How about that, huh? That's very nice. Okay, so that's it for this project. I'll bring you back when I'm ready to do the LEDs on the shell and see if my idea of hooking them up into this circuit board works. Alright. Or I could take the wires right to the brushes, but, you know, everything's right here, why not use it? All the screws, terminals make it easy. Alright, very good. I am so happy with this. Like I said, they gifted me this just for the price of this, which was probably around 50 bucks or so when I bought it. And so this is now mine, and I'm loving it. Excellent. Toodles.